Hey all, XArt student here. I'm an artist located in Connecticut, and today I'm going to make another comic. Before we get started, I just wanted to say on my Etsy I made these categories to help you guys find what you're looking for. The Mermaid in a Cup is on sale, and I'm doing a spring sale starting at the end of March, so keep an eye out for that. Now let's get back to talking about comics. If you didn't see, last week I created a comic about this demon lady in an abandoned church. This week, I wanted to focus on one of my characters and just do a quick little story, one-page, simple comic. I wanted it to be fun and just something I could easily tell through my drawings. I focused on my star goddess character. If you're new to my channel, she's a character I've been drawing or painting over and over again. She's just so much fun, a cute character design, and I could easily make up a story about her. So the goal of this was to show more of who she is and what she does. My star goddess is in charge of the night sky, so she looks out to see when sunset is happening and when it's the perfect moment to turn the sky to night. The star goddess can turn the sky into night using her hair, but she could also drag the night sky as if it's a blanket across the air. Something she loves doing is placing all of the stars. She doesn't just throw them any which way, she places each one perfectly every single night, so it becomes a beautiful piece of art for everyone down below to admire. She's telling everyone it's time to rest, it's time to go easy, and just look up for a little bit at the beauty, and then go to sleep. I really wanted her playful personality to show through this comic, and I think I did it with her dialogue as well as actions in the comic. My process for making these comics is first a pencil sketch, then I go over it with my pen. I just do line work, and since she has dark hair and I know there's no fancy way that I like to do it, I colored it in. After I do the line work, I go in with shading. And shading usually stresses me out because I don't think I'm very good at it, but it does help make the whole piece come together. Here we have the star goddess holding tons and tons of stars. She has to place them all in the sky, and there's so many that need to be placed. She goes back to the cloud where she was resting and grabs more in order to make a beautiful piece of art in our sky. I'm not really sure why I chose this star shape for her hair and chose different star shapes for the sky. Maybe to give some variation or to tell like this is specifically her hair. I just think it's fun and flowy, and I want it to resemble the sky. I wound up cutting out a star out of Post-its and using my hand as a reference for this comic. Sometimes you can't find the perfect pose online and you'll just search and search, so might as well use your own body. And that's what I did here. I think the hands turned out pretty well. It's just that bottom right hand kind of looks like a weird hot dog sausage. I don't like that one, but it still helps get the story across. These last three panels at the bottom are my favorite. I just love the hands, the stars, when it's finished, all the sketchy sky bits, and the little story it tells. I feel like you only really need those three panels for this story. I love how the star goddess is taking a look at her work. She does it every night, but this night is beautiful, just like every night for her. She's just in awe, even though she sees stars every day, that these stars are here right now in front of her and that we're so lucky to see them. I wanted to capture how we feel when we look at the stars. Wonder, amazement, beauty, almost childlike innocence of shiny little bits in the sky, or maybe it's just our magpie brains wanting to collect all the shiny things. I'm using the ruler here to make all those straight lines for each panel. I do a lot of these lines to make them nice and thick to show each part of the story, because sometimes whether I'm using certain lines or shading, it might blend in, and I want it to look like separate little scenes as if it's a movie. I really like how I did the darkness in my demon comic, and I wanted to transfer that over to this one. I thought it'd be fun and really sketchy if I did it for the night sky, because if it's just a plain black background, yes, it could be dynamic because of that contrast, but the sketchiness just adds to that homemade feel, and I don't know, I like the texture of it. The panel I was worried about was this one when it came to that sketchy nighttime sky and her hair. I wanted it to have a difference and not blend in too much. I wanted the stars to have a little bit of a glow, so I left those white parts around it. I also made sure that her hair was the darkest thing on that panel. I did like how the characters turned out, I just thought something was missing. And I remembered I did this wispy hair thing, almost like the hair is alive. So I just added a few of those lines to animate that hair a little bit more and show that there might be a slight breeze. This was challenging. I had to try showing a sunset without any color. Of course, I could easily add color, but what fun is that? Also, I'm trying to just stick to black and white so I could figure out the values better, and I don't know, it's kind of a challenge, so might as well try. I found some images online where people did sunsets with line work, and they just did lines close together or far apart depending on where the sun would be, and I made sure all of the clouds had some line work on it as well to show that it had some shadow because of the sunlight. And as you can see, I'm adding in some basic shading just to show the curvature of the body and not make it a flat drawing, which I know most of my paintings and drawings are, but anything helps. Something I wish I did with this project was consider the light coming off of the stars. Would it only come off of it when they're placed in the sky? Do the stars always shine? And should I have made line work on all of the stars with little glowing orbs around it and gotten rid of some of the shading that I did? I don't regret the shading because I do think it adds detail to the objects in front of us and shows you more of what it is, which I think is good. But in the future, that is something that I would change around, maybe erase some line marks on Photoshop, or just draw with white lines where the brightness of the stars would be. But then I also think, would I get rid of all of the details because it's so bright and shiny with all these stars here? I don't regret what I've done, but it's something to keep in mind for future comics. And now I'm just going in with little details, her little tattoos around her body. I felt like I was done, but then I looked again and this panel was missing something. I wanted to add some star glowage over here because there was so much white space. The original sketch had a bunch of trees she was flying over, but because I didn't space it correctly, I couldn't add those trees, so might as well add some line work. The comic's done, let's take a look at those close-up shots. Thanks guys so much for tuning in. What do you think? Should there be a page 2? Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my socials in the description below, as well as if you want to send some fan art. And remember, you could always go to my Etsy to buy some of my art. Thanks so much guys, have a great day. Bye!